everybody. Welcome to the internet. YouTube, to be exact. This is with Guy. I'll be your host, Guy. I'm just gonna do what I do and just talk about different stuff from what you're expecting from the other video. All that is very much happening. I'll address more of it as it comes to me in the moment, but I'm gonna put in a little clip about me talking about amends. I've been feeling nostalgic lately, getting older, you know, my 30th high school reunion's coming up, and I think about regrets, you know, and when I say regrets, like ultimately I forgive myself, you know, I know what was going on with me during certain times, so I'm not really hard on myself, but I do wonder, like, what would have happened if this or that, and this is kind of like in that realm. And there was a girl in my high school. We had a rival high school, right? And like in our perception, like I grew up in Utah, and in the 90s when I was in high school, it's a religious state, and it's like hard to explain to people that don't know, but it's a religious culture, you know. Me and my friends started smoking weed and drinking beers and climbing around up on the rocks, and there was very much like an us and them vibe that we had as kids, basically. And we were I felt poor back then. It's so funny to look back on because I was like, my dad was a hardworking, you know, he did good. He's just a regular guy, you know. He worked his ass off and did the best he could, but we were just like, you know, I want to say middle class, but like nowadays he'd probably be lower middle class, you know. It was different times. But the other school, the rival school, I say that because the boys there, the guys, we had clashes with, and I was not much of a fighter. Unfortunately, my best friend was like the alpha dog of our high school, and so he was always dragging us into shit. But anyway, we'll see if I can tie that into where we're going. So my point is, or what I've been thinking about, was that there was a girl at the other school. There was a group of girls that our social network mingled with, like senior year. And they were like all pretty, super pretty, nice clothes. They seemed like from up on the hill, you know what I mean? I guess what I'm trying to get to is that there was a girl there, super pretty, out of my league. I was really self-conscious of my looks when I was younger. Had mommy issues, anxious. I was smoking weed every day as a kid. And just looking back on it, like, I hurt her feelings. We weren't boyfriend or girlfriend or anything, but we could have been. She liked me. And I was so paralyzed with like insecurity and just like emotional, I was going to say the R word because I used to do that, but I'm not going to do that right now. We've got to get the lay of the land first here. So yeah, and I had a dream about her the other day. I think about her sometimes because it's like, I have a daughter now, and the thought of a fucking loser like me making a girl like that, who had just lost her dad, by the way, in high school as a youngster, it just bothers me, you know? So I guess for those, if there's anyone in recovery watching this oddly, you know, you think about the people you need to make amends to. I haven't talked to this person in, let me think, about 30 years, something like that, you know? And she pops into my brain every once. Well, for one, because I regret not doing it because she was super hot, and I mean, dude, like, it's like, what are you thinking, man? Like, if I could go back in time, be like, dude, what are you doing? Do you really need to hang out with your homies another night and drink beers and then go home and jerk off? You know what I mean? Like, pay attention. So anyway, I had a dream I was with this girl, And it was like one of those dreams where it's like an adventure. You're with a friend and it's like an adventure, you know, like, and it was like all night long and it was super vivid. And I don't think about this person very often. I mean, I say that like I didn't really know her. I mean, she goes back to my childhood. I don't know how to explain who this person is, to me, honestly, but I know she resented me for it, and I probably still stuck in her head. But it's like part of me wants to like let her know, like, look, here's what was going on with me at the time. You know, like my mom had just moved. You know, I know you lost your dad. I lost my mom. Like I was completely insecure. You know, like I didn't know how to deal with the thought of being with you. And honestly, another factor to this is my cowardice, because I was afraid of the guys from her school because I was a pussy basically, and they were all tough and stuff. So anyway, I started thinking about that today a lot. Like ever since that dream, I can't stop. I don't know what's going on with me, honestly. So anyway, that's what's going on with me. Other than that, everything's been a technical nightmare. I'm so frustrated with technology. It's like, man, it's exhausting, dude. Remember, maybe that's what I'm longing for, honestly. Like pre-internet, pre-phone, pre-internet days, just fucking rolling her up. If I could, I would, you know, hanging out with my homies on the mountains was great too, but I could have been doing some other stuff, if you catch my drift. Again, I don't know if that's selfish or not. Like, it's certainly, where's the line, you know? Is it inappropriate to do that to people, you know? We weren't really super tight, but however, I've been really nostalgic lately, and which my first 30 years of adulthood, I deliberately was not nostalgic or sentimental, you know, because like in my addiction, I was super sentimental as a youngster and would keep little artifacts and memories and, you know, just listen to Forever Young by Alphaville. And and then in my addiction, I think in moving, I just lost stuff and I had to come to terms with losing stuff or selling it. And, anyway, and then I just formed a philosophy of not looking back, you know. However, that's all changed a lot, and I've got my 30-year high school reunion coming up, and getting old. And anyway, and also the other thing is that I don't take life for granted, and I don't mean to say that as like a carpe diem. It's a real cornerstone to my personal ideology. Is like, I don't expect tomorrow. I plan on it, or I need to do better at that too, but we could go at any minute, you know, and I've had a few close calls, and so I operate from that modum operandus, or whatever. So anyway, I had the thought though, like, you know, and if anyone's not in recovery or familiar with addiction, it's all the same. It's a human experience, man. I do think addicts get like a blasted dose of a certain aspect of humanity and just, you know, self-destruction and also, if they can turn it around, radical transformation. But it dawned on me that like the amends process is like a natural process, you know, just to clean out the shit in your heart and in your head. And it did make me think, and also with my situation, you can look to the first video about this. I know with my daughter's mom, like I had told them early on, like I'm gonna make an amends, you know, it's part of this process, and I did apologize and grovel and for months show them, and I didn't do a technical, you know, amends where I sat down with them, but they had shut me out. By this point, they had shut me out, and like I had given so much, and they hadn't taken one step towards me, where I was like, I can't keep going like this, you know? So there was that, but I do wonder, like, was she expecting, she probably was, and all out, like on my knees, you know, and the reality of that is I am defensive right now and I am guarding myself, but I know I think we both owe each other an amends at this point in order for our hearts to heal and move forward properly, fully, consciously. But, you know, Earth is a fucking minefield, and maybe we don't get to do that with everybody, you know? So anyway, I do want to... How much of it is selfish, though? You know, like... Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like putting that on someone, and I know people in recovery, in AA, especially in NA, are very familiar with this is their territory, honestly, and I don't know much about it, but... it just does seem like, man, don't put that on me, you know, like just to have someone do that. Like maybe they're not ready for that. And I know in AA and NA, they do consider that, you know, they're very conscientious of that, but you also just might not know, you know? So I'm sure that is a hard part of that is a daunting aspect of the 12 steps for sure. But what I have found in my recovery is that I borrow from all the modalities, CBT, DBT, spirituality, others, Wellbriety, Refuge, Recovery Dharma, you know, Celebrate, the Christian one, all of it, like it all helped me. And that's just who I am. Like I've always liked different spiritual thoughts. For me, it does go back to the higher power though, and surrender and virtues. You know, trying to live virtuously. The serenity prayer saved my life. You know, people that have been watching my videos know that. But for you, you should know that I would not have got through my first year without it. Implementing it as a practice. Clonk, accidental ding dong. That's how eggplant came into existence. I forgot. Oh, also for covering, I was wearing yoga leggings at the time, and I'd cover up my dingus when he was visible because I don't want to lose the alpha bros. I don't fit in anywhere, man. I'm a manual laborer that I don't want to give up any political. I fucking all politicians. Here's a light-angled perspective. Here's Guy from With Guy's perspective on politics and politicians. They're all greedy little monsters that don't have your best interest at heart. That's what I believe. What I believe about people and being opinionated about politics, how about you learn who's on the board of commission in your county and try to get that shit that's been bugging you in your town fixed first before you get all uproarious. That would be where that's a light-angled perspective right there. So anyway... But my point is I just don't fit in anywhere, you know. I got nail polish and dirt from working in the mud, you know. But it's all good. I think people like sanity, and I'm here to offer that. I got a call from someone in their addiction last night at 1 o'clock in the morning. Friend, new friend, and he's family too. But he's young, you know, he's a young guy. But it's such a trip being on the other side of it and just knowing the hell that they're in. And what's really hard to be on the other side of is like, I know their brain, I know the struggles, and I know how hard it is, but you also know that it is possible. You can do it, you know. But when you're in it, you just think like, my whole life is going to be destroyed for the rest of my life. I'm going to be the shameful embarrassment that everyone thinks I am, you know. And it will bring nothing but destruction to your life. If you're having those thoughts of, am I an addict or I can't stop? If it's, you know, just even a little seedling, I'm a bit of a pessimist when it comes to this. You need help. You need help. You can't. It's not a willpower thing. That's what fucking drives me crazy when you're in your addiction and people just say you need more discipline. It's like, no. When you're an addict in addiction, it's different. This is what's hard for people to understand. The disease is a defect of the decision-making part of the brain. The symptoms are the behavior. So it's not the same. And trust me, I know, because I have a reward system and I have things that require discipline to do better at, like eating ice cream every night, which I can stop, but I'm having a hard time. So it's different, very different. Same, it starts off and then it's, you know what I'm saying? So just that thing when addicts are like, I'm gonna do this time. It's like, dude, you need to go get help. That's it. That's all you have to do. And it's not like, I need to be sober for the rest of my life. Nope, you just need to get your ass to a Serenity Lane. If you can. You know, this is one of the hiccups that my new friend is facing, is like he has it in his mind that he needs to go to Serenity Lane. And I would love that for him because I love that place. But also, it's an insurance thing. But it's like, all right, if you can't do that, then it's like me waiting for my ideal woman, which is a 10, so I can conveniently avoid getting into a relationship because I'm terrified of them, you know? So, anyway, if anyone knows how to play the ocarina, never mind, dude, of course. Okay, so we do a little segment here at Light Angle Productions. We manifest. We lean in. Like I said, dude, I don't know if I'm getting healed from this right now, but I like it. The manifesting, so there's a bit of a, magical thinking is like treacherous territory in my opinion, because there's so many grifters involved and so much nonsense, but there's something there, man. There's something there. I think I'll be honest, and this has been a very enlightening thing for me this year. I think we have an influence on the outer reality, our outside world, with our inside world. I also think that the health of our nervous system has a lot to do with that. So we do affirmations up in here. We love ourselves here. We do yoga nidra. We'll talk more about that later. But another thing we do is called Magic Bowl. Do a 2-deck Magic Bowl. These are Law of Attraction. No, these are self-care cards, and these are Law of Attraction cards. So we're gonna do both today. If I had more decks, which I hope to get, we will do varying Magic Bowl. Okay, let's get magical, y'all. Draw with your left hand, the intuitive side. This is my magic hand. Right. Let go of being an expert. I'm not going to read it, actually. Yeah, I don't want to lose you. Okay, this one. Do right hand this time. Logical. I attract the essence of my thoughts. The law of attraction and its magnetic power reaches out into the universe and attracts other thoughts that are vibrationally like it and brings that to you. And so you are getting the essence of what you are thinking about, whether it is something you want or something you do not want. And that brings me to my final thought. My first video, the other one thing I've learned in my recovery, and I think I did try to go here earlier today, is I noticed that I was on cycles, dude. Like, there was like, especially when things were insanely acute, the first few months, throughout the day, it was like oscillations of like dread and fear to not happiness and joy, but like resolve and resilience and hope. And it was doing that. And then what I found like a few months ago was that there was this wheel happening so yesterday that vibe was the end of the cycle, and today's the first day of the new one, and they're about a week long, honestly, something like that. And so the little day, it's not just going like this, it's going like this in a circle. You know what I'm saying? So just remember that if you're feeling hopeless. And also to my friends, like, I know you see me bugged out, but like, I'm doing all right. We're doing good. I could use help, but I'm not taking handouts. And I am, please. But I have confidence in myself and Light Angled Productions, and I'm gonna keep working my ass off, and we're gonna get monetized. So let's do that here. Please like, share, subscribe. I don't want to end each video with that, dude. We're not gonna do that, but please do. Please do like it, subscribe, because it not only helps. It's not about money right now. It's about giving me some hope. All right, y'all. Have a good night.
And that defect in that organ shows that the behaviors of addicts are in fact symptoms of a disease.